This video is sponsored by Squarespace. What's your biggest fear? That's the question for today's conversation. Not only that, it's also the question my heart hopes isn't asked of me. Because like you, if you answered that question honestly, I too have fears. Ambitions so wildly big that sometimes the thought of them scare me. Sometimes I find myself running away from them, hiding behind endless scrolling through social media memes, laughing just to keep myself from thinking about those fears, or drowning myself in work, because that's something I can control, and control is comforting. What part of that sounds like something you've done before? See, when I first discovered simple and intentional living, minimalism, I knew that there was an opportunity for me to gain so much more than just an organized closet or an aesthetically pleasing home. So when I bought my ticket and set sail on this journey, I was prepared for a complete lifestyle shift, as well as a good old-fashioned reality check. And that's exactly what I got. And some. Now, as a fair warning, buckle up, because although my goal for this conversation is simple in that I want to leave you with some food for thought, I'm also going to ask you to lean in and embrace these next few minutes. Even if these concepts are something you're already familiar with, I believe there's still something in this you need to hear. And I hope it reaches you. Here's how to get out of your own way. Number one is squash limiting beliefs. Now, doing this is a little tricky because in order to squash your limiting beliefs, you have to identify what they are first, which requires you to continue those beliefs until you figure out what they are. But once you do, now we have something to work with. Here's what those action steps look like. Number one is demolish doubt. Our minds are very powerful and capable machines, not limited to anything except ourselves. So if we choose the wrong emotion to believe in, such as doubt, then we're also choosing our end result, meaning we're guaranteed to get out what we put in. So if doubt is what we feel, then we can't act surprised when we continuously miss our target or goal in life. Number two is create confidence. The reality of trying something new or learning something you know nothing about is intimidating and, well, fearful. But we can't allow that fear to stop us. Instead, we have to use that fear as fuel. Fuel that feeds clarity, curiosity, confidence, all of which are emotional confirmations that we're doing something right. Number three is take action. As simple as it sounds, it's definitely the most important. Action is truly the only way to squash limiting beliefs. You have to try, right? But you also have to be willing to find ways for you to learn. As a personal example, and someone who is a content creator, speaker, poet, writer, I knew that I wanted to share my voice, perspective, and content with the world. But I had a limiting belief around not having the skills to do certain things, like video editing or feeling confident on camera or website design and structure. But with time and a willingness to learn and, of course, endless belief in myself, I learned everything I needed to know. And Squarespace in particular has made part of that process extremely easy for me in terms of creating my own footprint on the internet to give my work a centered hub. Now, personally, I started using Squarespace back in 2016 when I opened my first online store to sell my very first poetry book, My Life in 1,000 Words, as well as other poetry books of mine. And ever since then, Squarespace has been my go-to as an all-in-one platform for building a beautiful online presence. Everything from building an online store, including payment processing, to blogging and building a community. And I've actually had a few different blogs over the years as well. But regardless of what you're trying to create, Squarespace makes it super easy with their best-in-class templates that are also customizable, especially if you're a certified overthinker like I am, and you're just looking to take action and get started with very little guesswork. So if you have a business or a project you're looking to share, check out squarespace.com for a free trial. And then when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/Ronald L. Banks to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. All of those details are linked in the description. All right, the second step to start getting out of your own way is you have to stop comparing yourself to other people. Without a doubt, the quickest way to remain stuck or feeling behind in life is comparing your beginning to someone else's finish line. And to be honest with you, it's comparing your life to someone else's life in general. See, the one thing we have to remember is that our personal strengths, skills, talents, and potential is unique to us as individuals. And if we're constantly comparing our progress or process to someone else's, then we're not focusing on our own path ahead. Now, this is different than watching others to learn and then apply. This is actually something I highly encourage you to do. There's always something we can learn from someone at any stage in life. But the key, however, is taking this newfound knowledge and applying it, not comparing ourselves to it. Number 3 is give up this ridiculous idea of perfection. See, perfection is a concept that we want to believe exists, but doesn't exist in reality. As an example, you've probably told yourself something along the lines of, well, I'm just waiting for things to feel just right, perfect before I get started. Now, to be honest with you, this was me a few months ago when I launched my podcast. I was overthinking and constantly telling myself things like, well, my intro isn't perfect yet, so I can't share this first episode. Or my voice doesn't sound perfect on this recording, so I can't possibly share this. But with time, I've worked through those limiting beliefs and really that idea of perfection as well. See, here's an interesting perspective for you to take with you. As you know, perfection does not exist. But on the flip side, you still have 2 choices: progress or nothing. In other words, stop waiting for things to be perfect, because in waiting, you're actually doing nothing, where instead you could be doing something and making progress. See, progress equals action, and action leads to getting out of your own way. By the way, if you want to take these conversations we're having together here on YouTube on the go with you, then you should definitely check out my podcast, Where Do I Start? Also, I have an exclusive private podcast on Patreon where we take conversations like this one and dive even deeper. Links to both of those shows are down below. Well, I hope I shared something with you that gave you something to think about. And if I did, give this video a thumbs up for me. Also, comment below so we can continue talking about it. If you're new here, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. Consider hitting that subscribe button down below so you can join this community and grow with all of us here. Always remember to stay true to you, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.